Every time we teach a child something, we keep him from inventing it himself. On the other hand, that which we allow him to discover for himself will remain with him visible for the rest of his life. By Jean Piaget. Hey everyone, today we're diving into the learning theories and how they can help us increase or decrease behaviors. We'll explore behaviorism, cognitive theory, social learning, psychodynamics, and humanism, and how they can be combined for better results. Behaviorism focuses on observable behaviors and environmental stimuli. To increase behavior, we use positive reinforcement like rewards or negative reinforcement like punishment or something unpleasant. For example, a teacher could reward a student for correct answers or reduce homework for early finishers. To decrease behavior, we use punishment like a timeout or extinction. Stopping reinforcement to let the behavior fade, for example, ignoring a disruptive behavior, makes it less likely to continue. Next, we have cognitive theory, which focuses on mental processes like thinking, memory, and problem solving. To increase a behavior, we could focus on making the learning process more meaningful or easier to understand. For example, breaking a complex task into smaller, more manageable parts so can help someone successfully master the task. Encouraging self-reflection and active problem solving also reinforces positive behaviors. To decrease or extinguish a behavior in cognitive theory, you might focus on changing the way someone perceives a task. If a student believes a certain behavior is too difficult or irrelevant, they might stop engaging with it. By altering their cognitive framework, like showing them the value of a task or addressing their self-doubt, you can reduce the likelihood of unwanted behaviors. Social learning theory emphasizes learning through observation and imitation. To increase a behavior, we can use role models and reinforcement. If a student sees someone they admire being rewarded for a behavior, like a classmate receiving praise for helping others, they might be motivated to imitate that behavior. To decrease a behavior, you can reduce the visibility of undesirable behaviors through modeling. If an individual sees others ignoring or not reinforcing a behavior, they might stop doing it themselves. In social learning, the focus is on observation, imitation, and the influence of others. Psychodynamic theory is rooted in Freud's work, focused on unconscious motives and childhood experiences. To increase behavior, we could tap into individuals' emotional needs or unresolved conflicts. For example, someone might engage in behavior to satisfy an unconscious need for attention or approval. By addressing these underlying emotional needs, you could promote positive behaviors. To decrease or extinguish a behavior in psychodynamic theory would suggest exploring and resolving that unconscious reason behind that behavior. If a behavior is driven by unconscious fear or past trauma, therapy might help someone uncover and work through those issues, reducing the behavior over time. Humanism focuses on personal growth, self-actualization, and the inherent goodness of people. To increase behavior, humanism emphasizes intrinsic motivation and positive reinforcement. By fostering an environment where people feel supported, valued, and capable, they are more likely to engage in behaviors that promote self-growth. For example, helping a student build self-confidence can increase their willingness to take risks in learning. To decrease or extinguish a behavior, humanism might focus on understanding the individual's need and creating a supportive environment that discourages negative behaviors. For example, if someone is acting out due to low self-esteem, helping them address their personal needs and developing a more positive self-image could reduce those behaviors. Can we combine these theories to change behaviors and enhance learning? Well, combining them can give us more comprehensive approach. For example, we might use behaviorism to reinforce positive behaviors while also applying cognitive strategies to make the learning process more meaningful. Social learning can help by providing role models, while humanist principles can ensure that the individual feels supported throughout the process. Using a mix of approaches can address both the external factors like rewards or punishment, and in the internal factors like mindset or emotional needs, leading to more lasting and effective behavior change. The beauty of combining these theories is that we can tailor the approach to each individual, creating more personalized learning experience. Community is struggling with titrating drug dosages based on physiological data, which may indicate weaknesses in cognitive learning and problem-solving skills. These skills are essential for understanding concepts and applying knowledge to adjust medication according to patient data like lab results and vital signs. To address this difficulty, it is important to assess the orientee's understanding of drug mechanisms and their ability to interpret patient data. Identifying any knowledge gaps in pathophysiology or pharmacology can help, and more hands-on practice and clear guidelines may be beneficial. Key information to gather includes understanding the drug mechanism of action, comfort level with interpreting patient data and decision-making processes, knowledge gaps in relevant medical fields, any communication or critical thinking challenges that affect clinical decision-making. Next, let's consider how you approach counseling a nursing student who is failing a course. How would you approach it differently based on self-efficacy theory versus attribution theory? Self-efficacy theory suggests that the student's belief in their ability to succeed is crucial. You would focus on building their confidence by providing opportunities for small successes, offering positive feedback, and addressing any perceived barriers to success. While attribution theory, on the other hand, focuses on how the student interprets their failures. If the student attributes their failure to external factors like poor teaching or bad luck, you might work on changing those attributions, encouraging them to see failure as a learning opportunity or emphasizing that effort, not just ability, is important for success. Social cognitive theory emphasizes learning theory through observation and modeling. As a perceptor, you can model effective behaviors and skills for the perceptee to observe, provide feedback to reinforce learning and improvement, encourage self-regulation, helping the perceptee reflect on their performance, build self-efficacy by supporting their progress and boosting confidence. Booster observational learning, allowing the perceptee to learn from peers and experts. Social cognitive theory helps you provide a structured, supportive learning environment that builds both skills and confidence.